Hey heroes, Cap here, and today I want to talk about the future of Marvel's Avengers. Now 2022 is looking pretty good so far, and I think there are big things on the horizon for this game. If it's any indication from the last patch we got with the Claw Raid, the new gear reworks, and everything else the team is working on, I'm super excited to see what they present us this year. If you're as excited as I am, be sure to come on over to Twitch where I stream this game live. You can check it out, see everything firsthand right over there. But without further ado, let's jump in and take a look at what the future holds for Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers is going to have a big year in 2022, I feel. At least that's what I think. These are all my thoughts, my predictions for what's going to happen. But I think it's going to be a great year. We'll really see it better once the roadmap releases. The team's on holiday right now. I'm assuming they're going to be back tomorrow with the new shipment dropping or early next week. And we'll be getting a roadmap very soon after that. So I'm excited to see what's on it. What are we getting? Are there some heroes on there? Are we getting new OLTs, new raids, new villain sectors? I want to see it all. Now, if it's any indication from what we've seen from the previous two roadmaps we've had, is that it's going to break it down into 6 month or about 6 month time regions, with the first half of the year and the second half of the year coming later. But I'm hoping for big things right off the bat. I think this month is going to be spent on fixing up a little bit of the raid bugs, cleaning up a little bit, and getting ready for the next phase. And that's going to be a new hero, which we have the surprise hero, which I have a video of that. If you want to see what my guesses are for it, be sure to check that out. I'll be sure to leave a link down below. But we've also got the three main heroes that we're going to be getting this year, which so far it seems like it's going to be She-Hulk, Winter Soldier, and Captain Marvel. Now, the focus of where they go on this, so they're going to focus more on like the Kree side of the story, or are we going to stick with what we've seen already, and maybe Hulk goes and tries to stop him becoming Maestro? That's how they bring in She-Hulk. Could they even bring in Ultron? Ultron has been kind of teased but not teased all at the same time with all the Roy robots and everything. So Ultron is a possibility, and I think it'd be really cool to bring Ultron in, if only for the OLT. I think the next raid is going to be bigger than that, but I think for the next OLT, because we definitely need another Omega level threat, because the Super Adaptoid was a bit crazy, and I think if you're going to make it kind of run the same schematics of the Super Adaptoid with expanding, start us off with like facing 4 Ultrons or something like that. That'd be a pretty neat, have each hero have to go after an Ultron of their choice and take them down. Another thing we were teased last year but haven't really gotten yet is patrol mode. So I hope that is coming within the first half, is the patrol mode. We don't know a whole lot about it. It's a new mission, a new type. It'll be interesting to see what there is, and hopefully expand more on the future Wastelands, which severely needs some love shown to it, as it only holds 1 mission right now. Now, I think for it being a DLC, the future Wastelands needs much more content to that, which is why I think we're going to see more villain sectors coming to that, and hopefully the introduction of Red Hulk as a villain. Now, we saw Red Hulk in the data mine, so it'd be really cool to bring him in, make him a villain sector, put him in the future Wastelands. Another villain sector I want to see is in the Wakanda is Crossbones. Give Crossbones his own villain sector. His time in the game wasn't long enough. Like, make him a clone like all the others are. Or see, like, you keep dabbling with Monica Raspuccini, have her come in, make clones of Crossbones and put him in as a villain sector, which I think would be an awesome idea. Shipments, I think we're gonna get a big update tomorrow with the shipment. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna say it's an MCU skin. I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a Kate MCU skin, because it hasn't been teased yet. It's after 1 o'clock. Like, they always post the MCU skins like the day before at 1. No post, nothing. Team also is on holiday, so maybe it just got missed. Who knows? My hopes aren't being held very high for that, but I think it'd be pretty cool to have an MCU Kate skin in the shipments. But more than likely, it's looking like it's going to be Black Panther of some sort, as he was completely neglected in the shipment, if you noticed. I checked, scrolled through, bought the shipment a couple times, nothing really, which is why I think Black Panther is probably the more likely chance of being in the shipment as a... Now, for the next raid type, because I definitely think there needs to be another raid. That's going to be, I think, in the second half of this year. I'm so sorry. The second half of this year, I'm calling it a new raid, and it's going to be a giant Kree sentient. Sentient. There we go. I promise I can speak. I think it's going to be a giant Kree. We've seen pieces of like their hands, their head, like all kind of teased around. I think it'd be really cool. Put the next raid in the future Wastelands as a Kree soldier. Also bringing in Captain Marvel with that, we can finish that storyline, the Kree invasion. We've been teased about it, talked about it. We've kind of, ooh, Kree, oh, over here. Ooh, Kree, oh, over here. It's like a tennis match at this point. They kind of keep teasing us and then going away from it, teasing us, going away from it. So I definitely think that the Kree are involved in this next. Now, I touched on this briefly earlier in the video, but I think the next 3 superheroes that we get added to the game are going to be She-Hulk, Winter Soldier, and Captain Marvel. Pretty much everyone's on board with this. That's what we got from the data mine. I think they all fit into the story that's being told right now. Each one brings in their own part of the story. So for She-Hulk, I think that's going to go more into like the Hulk story with how he becomes Maestro, maybe bringing him in, or even introducing Red Hulk. I saw that theory as well, which I think is pretty cool. If I'm going to stick with maybe go after Maestro, and that leads them into Nick Fury being frozen in time and the Kree invasion further on down the road. So that's where my bet is. Now, Winter Soldier, it'll be interesting to see how they bring him in. He's kind of up in the air on if they bring him in as like, oh, when they're getting close to Fury, they find soldiers also on the trails of finding him, or have him and Cap run into each other. I kind of even like the idea of having them run into Winter Soldier for the first time and actually fighting him as a villain in order to beat him, to get him onto your team. I think that'd be kind of a neat storyline, something that obviously we've seen in the MCU. Not saying that this is going to replicate the MCU, but it's something we haven't seen before when they introduce a hero, is forcing the hero to become on your side after he's being brainwashed or whatever it could be. I think with Winter Soldier we'll also be getting the patrol mode. I think that's when they'll drop that, so closer to like the middle of the year, not exactly at the end. Maybe there's like one more event before him. He's going to be towards the end of the first half of this year, I think. That's my guess. Also at this time, I think they're going to get further into the Kree storyline here, and really the final scene of the campaign, if you've played it. If not, spoiler alert, but if you've played it, MODOK essentially shoots like this green beam up, guessing it's a signal to the Kree to come attack and destroy Earth and all the heroes and Inhumans and get rid of them once and for all. So I think MODOK is going to make a return as a villain sector. I think it'd be kind of cool, or even an OLT. I mean, Ultron or MODOK as an Omega level threat mission, I think is fantastic, and definitely would love to see it in the game. And then after that, of course, I think to begin the second half of the year, maybe like August, around the same time that the War for Wakanda, Black Panther expansion dropped, I think that's the same time we're going to be getting the Captain Marvel expansion to the game, wrapping up the Kree invasion and what the second raid is going to be with a giant Kree sentient. I think the mission before this DLC drops is going to lead to kind of like the heroes being down, and Captain Marvel kind of like is a last minute call. I don't know if they finally free Fury and he gets her attention, or what they do in order to get her attention to come to Earth and help them out in this fight against the Kree and all the invasion. Unless, of course, maybe she got word of the Kree coming here, and that's how she just miraculously shows up at the right time, which is how I think they're going to introduce her. I think it's the best way to introduce her, kind of give you like that movie feel, like you're at the movies and the big hero arises, you're all cheering and all excited for it. I think that'd be a good way to play her off, but at the same time, it's kind of been done. So it'll be interesting to see how they add her in and what gets her drawn to Earth to fight off the Kree and finish this storyline, which then leads us into what happens next. What happens once we finish the Kree and all the storylines they've given us? Do we just keep adding on? Do we further down the Ultron rabbit hole? Do we bring in another hero to bring in more problems? Does AIM continue to be a thorn in our side? I guess only time will tell on what holds for the actual future of Marvel's Avengers. I'm super excited for it. These are my predictions. If even one comes true, I'm going to be super excited because they all sound amazing. But I trust the team. I trust what they have for us. It's going to be an exciting time. So be sure to click that like and hit the subscribe button to come along for the ride, and let's check out to see exactly what Marvel's Avengers has in the future for us. As always, heroes, stay amazing, and until the next video, bye-bye.